Wait. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whenever it is you're tuning in. Welcome to TicketPrice, the only show on the internet with lackluster cues that I could barely register out of the corner of my eye. We're also the only show on the internet. You need those airplane waivers.
Yeah. I don't know what they're called. Sticks?
Yeah, the orange glowy sticks.
Yeah.
But we're also the only show on the internet. We are also the only show on the internet that asks the question that matters. Are these movies worth the ticket price? In other words, are they worth your time and money? Thank you for tuning in. My name is Jake, your co-host and forehead of the show. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire and the only man who thinks we should take all of the states that don't have a pro sports team, chop them up, and divide that land into the states that actually matter. Tevis at Master Control, how are you, sir?
Get fucking chopping.
Hell yeah. Let's put it this way. Deal with it, Alabama, Hawaii, Maine, Vermont, Virginia, Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, South Carolina, Wyoming, Connecticut, Iowa, Montana, Rhode Island, Delaware, West Virginia, Kentucky, Kansas, and Mississippi sucks to suck.
That's impressive that you were prepared.
That's right.
Nice. I'm over here looking like Marcellus Wallace. Does he look like a bitch?
Okay. I'm not sure what kind of connection we've made.
I don't know.
We've talked about it, and you think we should just take all these states, get rid of them, and just let the important states absorb them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what did people in Iowa do? Like, what do they root for? Corn?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Or Nebraska.
Corn?
Alabama.
Incest?
Racism. Oh. Or, as Wayne's World put it, hi, we're in Delaware.
Sure.
Get a sports team.
Yeah. What he said. Fucking losers.
Please in the comments let us know which state you're in and why you don't have a sports team, because college sports don't count.
No, absolutely not. Fucking Nebraska.
Alabama.
Iowa? Hawkeyes, I guess.
Oh, sure.
I don't know. I don't watch lacrosse.
Next you're gonna be like Kansas. Go Jayhawks.
Blech. Bill Self.
There you go.
Rock on.
Just say rock on.
Rock on.
All right. We're rocking on. And what are we rocking on to, Tevis?
I ain't saying shit. I got in trouble last time. I ain't saying a damn word.
Well, today for episode 99, we are doing the 2007 310 to Yuma.
Hell yeah. And who stars in this movie? Because I got yelled at last time when I made the comment.
You don't make comments. You make dad jokes, and everyone hates it.
Still a comment.
Anyway, below this, you'll see two links. One will take you to a merch store. The other will take you to a set of bingo cards. We will now give you a minute to pick out a bingo card so you can play along. You don't have to be such a moody bitch about it. I mean,
It's only being yelled at for no reason.
well, I pass you the ball, and I expect you to act like a pro player, one that matters and makes money.
I'm from Iowa.
Are you really?
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
Oh, thank you. We were about to have a genuine problem.
From Alabama.
The land of incest and racism.
Hell yes.
Although Mississippi's on that list, or
It's all those down there.
the South.
Yeah.
All right, bingo cards should be attained at this point. Now, released in 2007, obviously a remake of the 1957 classic, all of which inspired by the short story by Elmore Leonard.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
I wasn't either.
That's pretty cool.
Thought so.
Yeah.
And now they call it a short story, but then you look it up and you're like, this is just a full-ass dime novel.
Really?
Like, short story makes you think, like, yeah, it's going to be a few pages. But no, it's like a full little, like, dime novel paperback, thing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Didn't he write, gosh dang it. What the hell did Elmore Leonard write?
Dime novels, from my understanding.
No, he's wrote some movies.
Elmore Leonard wrote movies?
Yes, he did. Out of Sight, Jackie Brown, Be Cool.
Cool.
310 to Yuma, Get Shorty.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there's a lot here. Joe Kidd with Mr. Eastwood. Okay.
I've never heard of that.
I've heard of it, but I've never, ever watched it that I'm aware of. Hey, this is Tevis, and I just need to make a quick correction about what I said in this section. This list of films, they were based off of novels written by Elmore Leonard and not written specifically for film by Elmore Leonard. That was my mistake, and I'm here to correct it. Because if I do make a mistake and I am aware of a mistake I make, I want to try to make it right. So enjoy the rest of the show.
I can honestly say I'm not a big Eastwood guy.
Me either.
Because mostly, like, I like his Westerns well enough. But then in every other movie, he talks.
Yeah.
And I find that really kills it for me.
I agree. Yeah. He's not the... I like the movies that he's directed. A lot more than the movies he starred in.
Yeah, but anymore, those are one and the same.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Mule.
I was going to say, are you going to talk about The Mule?
Yeah. Or what's the Gran Torino?
Yeah.
That movie was actually really good until that very last scene when the kid's driving off in the car, and then for some reason, as the car's driving off, Clint Eastwood decides to break into song.
I remember.
Oh.
Looks like hell. If you can refrain from doing any of that, it's yours.
So tenderly, your story, nothing more than what you see or what you've done or will become. Standing strong, do you belong in your skin? Just wondering. Gentle mouth, the tender breeze blows, whispers through my Gran Torino, whistling another tired song.
That was a $1 Million Baby.
That movie sucks.
That movie does suck.
I hate that movie.
Hey, $1 Million Baby, not worth it.
Yeah, that movie is god awful.
You don't understand. She fell and broke her neck.
Okay, I want to make a comment on that.
Okay.
Every other time that trainer put the stool in the ring, he put it in correctly.
Yeah.
I feel
By
like...
that trainer, you mean Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. I feel like they shouldn't have telegraphed it so much when he put it in the wrong way, because as soon as he did it, I was like, something's going to happen. I feel like it should have been put in that way every time, and then somebody had to pick it up. And that way we were used to it. So I think, and plus it was just fucking awful. It's a stupid movie.
This movie sucks. All right. Like all the states that don't have a pro sports team.
Prank caller.
Now,
I feel like that dude from Pulp Fiction.
you stabbed. Wait. I got to stab her 3 times?
No, you don't have to stab her 3 times. You just got to stab her once.
I was like, wait, who is you got to be talking about the adrenaline guy.
Prank caller.
You want to look for Sturm, and then you want to just stab it down in there. Wait, I stab her 3 times? No, you don't stab her 3 times.
Eric Stoltz. I love it. It was so good.
Okay, back to 310 to Yuma.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Written by Halstead Wells. Now that's a goddamn Western name.
Oh, shit. Did he just fall off a horse during the filming of this or something?
He fell out of the back of the chuck wagon.
Jesus.
Halstead Wells, Michael Brandt, and Derek Haas. Now,
that sounds like a name you don't want to fuck with.
Halstead?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You run into a guy named Halstead, he's gonna roll his sleeves up because he's got the country western button-up shirt.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna roll his
pearl
sleeves
snaps.
up and then kick your ass.
Absolutely. No matter how old he is.
No, and maybe steal your girl, depending on how old he is.
Yeah.
But he's definitely gonna kick your ass.
Hell yeah. Halstead.
Halstead.
Okay.
You could have been Halstead.
No. No.
Your parents took one look at you and they went, well, we have to change the name.
Yeah. That's definitely a Tevis. Like, what the fuck is a Tevis? Sounds like something you buy cream for.
Relax,
I
Halstead.
don't like that.
Now, normally we issue a red flag for 3 writers. However, Halstead Wells was the screenplay writer for the 57.
Oh, cool.
Back when people were named Halstead.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
So this version is actually Michael Brandt and Derek Haas. Directed by James Mangold. He's been on the show a couple of times.
Yes, he has.
Not that he's been on the show, but we've looked at a few of his movies, have we not?
One for sure.
Yeah. And then we always look up the list because we go, what else did he do? And then we always dump on it.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
He also did Logan.
Ooh, I like Logan.
Yeah, me too. He did the Wolverine.
You know what? That one gets some crap. I liked the Wolverine.
I didn't mind it at all. Walk the Line.
I like Walk the Line.
He did Copland, an amazing film.
Shot
Amazing.
Not only did I not think it was worth the ticket price,
Zing.
Sarah didn't think it was worth the ticket. She thinks what?
She has no taste.
That's actually fairly accurate. But Sarah didn't like Copland because it sucks.
But
just like Alabama, Hawaii, Maine, Vermont, Virginia, Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, South Carolina, Wyoming, Connecticut, Iowa, Montana, Rhode Island, Delaware, West Virginia, Kentucky, Kansas, Mississippi.
You know what else sucks like those?
Alabama.
The other film he directed, Night and Day.
Oh. But I saw that in theaters too. Actually, I'm fairly shocked at how many of those I've seen in theaters.
And you know what else adds to this list as well?
Huh.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Gross.
Oh, terrible. I almost didn't finish it. And that made me upset.
I almost didn't start it. Oh, no, wait. I didn't start it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But he totally makes up for it with Ford versus Ferrari.
You know, I was going to ask you, because at the time of this recording, I don't think it's out yet, but it's very soon. How do you feel about the upcoming F1?
It's out now, actually.
It is out.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I want to watch it. It's not one that I think I would take the kid to, that she would really enjoy it, but...
Isn't the president/owner of F1 like a Nazi?
That I'm not sure.
I think he's come out pretty publicly with some real questionable opinions.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe I'm wrong. F1 fans or haters or whoever, let me know.
Yeah, that I'm not sure.
But I've heard some stuff where I'm like, ooh.
But I think it's just a more serious approach to racing. It's like Days of Thunder.
Well, it is a better version of racing than what we typically get here in the States.
Oh, yeah.
Because NASCAR sucks.
But I think it's a more serious Days of Thunder.
You know where NASCAR is loved? Alabama, Hawaii, Maine, Vermont, Virginia, Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, South Carolina, Wyoming, Connecticut, Iowa, Montana, Rhode Island, Delaware, West Virginia, Kentucky, Kansas, Mississippi.
Kansas does have a speedway. And you know what it's called?
No.
Kansas Speedway.
Makes sense.
Fucking genius.
A committee got together.
Of cousins.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
They rubbed their 2 brain cells together.
Absolutely.
Passed around their tooth so they could enjoy lunch. And
asked their sister. And they came up with Kansas Speedway.
Ask their sister.
Yeah. They had to get her opinion.
All right. Can I get back to 310 to Yuma, please?
Please. We're going to make so many enemies.
Oh, no. What will I do?
So many more enemies.
No, here's the thing. Here's the great thing about being a small, tight knit, humor based show. No one offered. No,
Good point.
I could give out my social security number and no one would take my identity. Now, starring Russell Crowe and Christian Bale.
Don't just stop there.
Well, I am just stopping.
Nope.
Halstead,
Ben Foster,
Ben Foster,
Logan Lerman. He's been on the show.
Yep. Well, not been on the show.
He's been on at least 2 times.
We've talked about movies he's been in twice.
Do you know the 2 movies?
What, Logan was Fury, and I don't remember the other one off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's because it was kind of a shitty movie. It was really bad.
I don't remember.
It was The Patriot.
Logan Lerman is in The Patriot?
He's in The Patriot.
As what, the baby?
William Martin.
Which one is Will? I'm glad I killed him.
I think he's the young one that dies. That, what's his name kills? Isaac almost said Hayes.
No. I can picture that kid in my head. That is not Logan Lerman.
But, well, he plays William Martin in The Patriot.
Look, pull it up. Show me Logan Lerman.
Oh, no, he is the kid. The younger kid.
Yeah, but he's wait, isn't that Samuel?
No.
So it's one of the younger boys with the dark hair.
Correct.
Got it. Hey, there you go.
The one who probably... There he is. Yeah, William Martin.
Nice.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think he's the one that gets killed by Isaac
No,
Hayes.
I'm telling you, because Mel Gibson's 2 oldest sons die in The Patriot.
Yes.
William Martin is neither of them.
But he's in The Patriot.
Nice.
And he's in this.
Also, The Patriot's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. He plays William in this and The Patriot. So.
Yes, he does.
He's kind of a little shit in this and The Patriot.
No, he's nothing in The Patriot, so you can't just say that.
I know. Just, he was in a shitty movie, so we got to move on.
No, he wasn't. Well, Percy Jackson's not very good, but that's not his fault. Now, 310 to Yuma, made with an estimated budget of $55 million.
Really?
Yep.
Cast.
Oh, yeah. Logan Lerman.
Yeah.
What do you think the worldwide gross was?
I'm just going to say 100.
Okay. Well, it's not a horror movie.
Okay.
With a worldwide gross of $70 million.
That's close. But still, only $20 million?
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks.
15.
Oh?
Huh?
What?
It made $15 million. You were like, $20 million. No, well, actually, only 15.
Oh, okay. That sucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing. For all the praise you hear of this movie, apparently no one went and saw it.
Yeah, I know I didn't. The 2000s were kind of a shitty year for Westerns.
I can't even think of another Western from that era.
The only good ones I can think of, Open Range was really good. Shanghai Noon with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson.
Oh yeah, I've seen that
one. That one was okay.
I'm more of a around the world in 80s days kind of guy.
There was the Colin Farrell American Outlaws. You remember that? Where he played Billy the Kid?
No.
That one was more of a MTV style. Like if you look it up and it says MTV Pictures, I would not be surprised.
Oh, sure.
What's that? All the Pretty Horses?
No.
Do you remember that? With,
no.
Matt Damon and Penelope Cruz, because she was the horse.
Okay. Shots fired.
And then there was that other one. This one was shit with Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
or Banditas, something like that. But it had Selma Hayek and Penelope Cruz.
Stop making that hand motion.
I cannot stand. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Last Samurai, that was a good one.
That's pretty Western-esque.
Yeah. Really shitty Dennis Quaid, The Alamo.
Alamo's not great. I don't know. My dad loves The Alamo.
Hidalgo.
Hidalgo's okay. Just don't look into the historical falsehoods it's supposedly based on.
Yeah. That
Apparently, the guy that the main character, he's got a real oh shit, what was that Jean-Claude movie? First Blood kind of
Bloodsport, you mean?
Bloodsport.
Like, his way with the truth.
Yes. What was that guy's name?
Dickhead McKickerson. I don't.
Nailed it.
Thanks.
Something about Mr. Fist. I don't. Yeah, the guy who supposedly his life is, or the movie is based on his life. Yeah, he might have had issues with honesty.
Yeah. The other one that I really enjoyed was the assassination of Jesse James.
Brad Pitt?
Yes.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that one was good. I enjoyed that a lot. But I'm going down the list here, and there's a shit ton of just crappy ones. No Country for Old Men is considered a Western. That was really good if you want to consider that a Western, but not in the traditional Western sense.
Sure. So some of my bloodline is Southern Missouri, and their maiden name being James. And it has been a long-standing story told from the elders down to us youth that we are some distant, ninth cousin or whatever of Frank and Jesse.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is this a true story, or is this a Frank Duke story?
That's his name. Frank. No, they say it's true. That because the James clan was a big family.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's not like, yeah, he's your uncle, but it's like, no, some ninth cousins. Once the family tree gets far enough out, I don't understand the connection anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, somewhere in there, I guess is.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the story goes anyway.
Yeah, the only one I know of that I have ever been told I'm slightly related to is Lee Greenwood.
Who?
Yeah. God Bless the USA, song.
Yeah?
Yeah, that guy.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know how. I just know my aunt or my...
Proud to be an American.
Yeah.
Because at least I know I'm free. That one?
Yeah, that guy's so gross.
He's your ninth cousin.
Twice removed. However that works.
You're just jealous he wrote a banger.
He
mind.
wrote that into the dirt.
I have a friend. He's come up a few times on the show. He occasionally's like, all right, guys, I have a hot take. And I'm like, all right. So we were there was a group of us talking. He's like, all right, hot take. 9/11 was the worst thing to ever happen to country music.
Because it made Toby Keith popular. I'll put a boot in your ass. Oh, that's the American way. Fucking Toby Keith.
R.I.P. Toby Keith.
God.
And he said, I just got to laugh.
He had that one, and there was one that he had around the same time that was playing all the fucking time. Had, God damn it. Who's the pot smoking guy?
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. Beer for My Horses.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh, dumb as shit.
I remember that one.
Terrible.
I believe my mother was quite the Toby Keith fan. Now, granted, her one true love was Garth Brooks, but...
Oh, everybody's one true love is Garth Brooks.
I'm not a country music person
Well,
because
if you like country music,
I
then.
have ears. that function properly. Unlike the people who live in Alabama, Hawaii, Maine, Vermont, Virginia, Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, South Carolina, Wyoming, Connecticut, Iowa, Montana, Rhode Island, Delaware, West Virginia, Kentucky, Kansas, Mississippi.
So we're talking about 3:10 to Yuma.
With 3 award wins and 32 additional nominations, including 2 Oscar nominations for Best Achievement in Music and Best Achievement in Sound Mixing.
Okay. I definitely see the best sound portion of
Well,
it.
this movie had guns.
Yeah.
And we know that the Best Sound Award loves gun movies.
It does. But especially in the third act where you get the guns and the ricochets and the bullets whizzing by and the horses, and it's all really, really good put together.
Yeah.
But as far as the music goes, because I knew that it was nominated for Best Music.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm starting to watch this, I'm like, this is nominated for the Best Music Award? Like,
Yeah, it just
what?
seemed real.
But man, once it hits that third act and the music added to it, I understand now. It's pretty awesome.
So, Tevis,
Yes.
what is your history with 3:10 to Yuma?
Well, I never did get to see this in the theater.
Where is Yuma?
Probably in one of those states.
Well, you definitely pointed at Delaware, which I don't think is accurate. But then again, I don't know.
No, when this movie came out on DVD, I rented it through the Netflix.
Okay.
Got the disc in the mail.
In the mail.
You know.
Netflix Steve working hard in those days.
Absolutely. Got a lot of overtime. But I watched it and I was like, okay, that was a Western. That was fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't blown away by it. But as I've said many times, I go to thrift stores. I found it for $1. I was like, shit, yeah, I'll buy this. And then I watched it again within the last couple of years. I was like, oh, this is okay. This is really good. I don't think I gave it a fair chance. But Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, Ben Foster.
How
can you go wrong?
Logan Lerman.
Who?
The son in The Patriot.
Oh, that guy.
The one that lives.
Yeah, he was good too. What is your history with the 3:10?
This is probably, I think, the second time I've watched it all the way through. I had a very similar reaction you did after the first time, just ever. I think I was with my parents, maybe, or just I watched it. I don't know, and I just went, "Yeah, that was cool. That was enjoyable. It didn't like blow me away. It wasn't Tombstone.
Oh yeah,
but I just went, yeah, that was cool. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I never really thought about it again, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
did you ever watch the original?
No,
me either.
I'm leery of old Westerns because more often than not, there's at least one moment where it breaks down into the country, the of the time country music artists that they casted. It just gets to break out in song, and the entire movie grinds to a halt as we get a goddamn 5-minute sing along, and I want to. I think about all the ways John Wick has ended someone's life, and I wonder how many of those I could do to myself, wanting this to stop.
Okay.
I once got into a full-blown argument with my grandmother, who I love deeply. Outside of my immediate family, like my wife and children immediate family, she's probably the relative I'm closest with because we're so similar.
Yeah.
But she swears up and down the original True Grit with John Wayne is better than the remake with Jeff Bridges.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, Grandma, no, it isn't.
Absolutely not.
And the original and they're riding and they're looking for what's his face, and then all of a sudden it just like, was it Glenn Campbell? Or whoever the hell was playing LaBeef just pulls out a guitar, and I just went, God damn it! So I'm not gonna lie, I'm leery of old Westerns, because if I have to sit through a concert that I didn't pay for,
They did that in one of the episodes of Game of Thrones with who's that redheaded fuck? Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran.
I heard about
He
that.
shows up in an episode, and I remember sitting there watching it. I'm like, is that?
Yeah, they wrote him in as like someone's cousin just so he
Why?
could sing a song.
And then
right?
he started. Yeah, he's like one of the soldiers or some shit.
Yeah.
But then he starts playing a song, and I'm like, no.
I'd rather listen to Ed Sheeran than Glenn Campbell.
Oh yeah. And I'm almost 50, and I would too.
Yeah.
But no, it was stupid. I was like, what do we need? What are we doing here?
Well, speaking of what are we doing here?
Yuma is in Arizona.
Thank you.
It's southwestern Arizona, to be exact. Located on the Colorado River.
Oh.
Near the borders of California and Mexico. So.
There you go. Are you ready to start?
It's the county seat of Yuma County, and it's known for its sunny weather, outdoor recreation, and agricultural production.
I guess Colorado River. That makes sense. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Let's get to Yuma.
Well, we're not trying to get to Yuma per se. We're just trying to get to the train station.
Yeah, let's get to the 310 to Yuma.
All right. So, in essence, this movie is about a down on his luck rancher who is bullied and
handicapped.
Okay.
Rancher.
Well, so we have Christian Bale's character, whose name is, did I write it down? I didn't.
It's Dan Evans.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan is a Civil War vet.
Just like America's dad. Dan Connor. Dan Connor.
Danny Tanner. I'm not fighting with you about this again. Dan fought in the Great American Civil War and lost his leg in the process.
Yes, he did.
Now he's an Arizona rancher who's bullied and preyed upon by the powers that be.
Correct.
Whilst trying to get water restored to his land and pay off a debt he owes on the property, he has the fortune, if you will, to join a posse to get Russell Crowe's character,
Ben Wade,
to...
Careful who you're talking to there, Ranger. This is Ben Wade here.
That's Ben Wade. Everybody, Ben Wade. Well, we'll get there. So he joins up with the posse. His oldest son William ends up joining as well, and the goal being is Dan will get paid enough money to pay off the debt and keep the land if they get Ben Wade to the train to Yuma. And chaos ensues, and then along the way, really, in my opinion, this Western is unique in that it's not about the physical journey. It's not about the black hats versus the white hats and, the gleaming gunslinger who comes in to stop the banditos kind of a deal. It's not any of that. It's about the emotional, personal journeys of Dan and Ben as they just talk to each other on their way to the train.
Yeah, it's not Magnificent Seven.
There's not True Grit.
There's no gunfight duel type deal.
Not Big Jake or the Sons of Katie Elder.
No, Quick and the Dead.
Yep.
Thank God.
Although that did have Russell Crowe.
Yeah, it did actually. But no, you're right. This is it's probably one of the most traditional Westerns that I've watched recently, but at the same time, it's not.
See, I would definitely argue more that it's not than it is.
Yeah, but
because this isn't about the guns and the shootouts and the yippee-ki-yays and the cattle and the whatever. City Slickers is more of a traditional Western than 07's 3:10 to Yuma, because this is about two guys unknowingly leading each other on personal journeys.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
And that's essentially the movie.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. Let's get into it a little bit. So our primary characters are Dan and Ben.
Yes.
Dan is meek.
Very.
Is that's fair to say without being like he's a pussy?
Yeah, he's very.
Because I don't believe he is a pussy, but he's meek.
Yeah, and he really wants, because he honestly he kind of gets pushed around a little bit by his son.
Well, his oldest boy, William, has no respect for his father.
Absolutely, and you could see it by the way he looks at his father versus how he looks at Ben Wade.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of admiration that he looks at Ben Wade with.
Yes.
That he definitely doesn't look at Dan that way.
No, with Dan, his father, it's definitely more, there's some disdain there.
Very
and
much.
honestly, I think a lot of that goes into the underrated acting of Logan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
because he does a great job.
He does a really good job. I don't think there's anybody in this movie that would be the weak link as far as actor-wise.
I disagree.
Oh, okay.
There's one.
Who you got?
The big guy who has the forking incident.
Kevin Durant?
Sure.
Oh, hell no.
No, that guy sucks.
No, he's so good.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
They're gonna hang me in the morning. Shut up. Shut your big ass up.
That was the point. You were supposed to hate the guy.
Yeah, I know, but it was very...
No,
Go back to Wild
Kevin
Hogs.
Durant. He's good.
Sure. Oh, sure.
He was in the...
Surprise Alan Tudyk.
I love Alan Tudyk.
Everyone loves Alan Tudyk.
His fucking character in this movie is so damn good.
The vet. Oh, no, they call him the doctor, but he's a veterinarian.
Doc Potter. Yeah.
Doc Potter. It's nice to have a conversation with a patient, and they actually talk back.
Yeah, Peter Fonda's laying on that slab, and he's looking up at all the stuff on the wall, and it's horses.
What the hell kind of doc are you? Now, getting back to our main two, though. So with Dan, we've got this meek guy he's been pushed around. He's kind of let himself be pushed around. He's trying to do right by his family, and not make too much noise. And that's so there's a river, or I should say there was a river that went through his land, but the guy, the big money rancher in the area owns a neighboring parcel of land that the river runs through, so it has to go through the neighboring land before it gets to Dan's. Wanting Dan off the land, so when the railroad comes through, Tycoon will own the land and can sell it to the railroad for big money. He dammed the river, so none of Dan's crops or cattle or family can get any water.
Yeah, such a nice guy.
Isn't he, though? So we've got a guy who's just trying, and we even learn that the whole reason Dan and his family are even out there is that the youngest son, when he was like two, got tuberculosis. So the only reason they moved out there, because the doctors were like, look, he's got TB. You need a dry climate to help give him as much of a chance as he can get. So he's only out there for his family.
Yeah. And I love that he tells Ben Wade that in that hotel room.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not stubborn. And he tells him that story about his son, and Ben Wade's like, why are you telling me this?
And even Dan's like, I don't know.
I just don't want you to think I'm stubborn.
I'm like, okay.
No. How good was the chemistry between these two?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think a lot of this is acting talent more than chemistry.
You think so?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't feel that much.
Really?
I felt more energy between Christian Bale and Logan Lerman, or Russell Crowe and Logan Lerman, than I did between Bale and Russell.
Okay. Okay. During the first and second act, I did, but that third act, I don't know what it is. It's those two together from the hotel scene on was just, to me, was so good.
Sure.
Russell Crowe does a good job of playing a villain without doing the mustache twirl.
He's not evil.
No.
He's a bad guy. Like, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But he's not cartoonishly evil. He's not even a prick.
No.
He's devilishly charming.
Even when he's stabbing the dude in the neck with a fork.
Yeah. It gets real squishy sounding.
Oh, God. I had totally forgotten about that part. And I'm sitting there watching it, and all of a sudden you hear it, and then you just see him stabbing it. I'm like, oh, God, turn down the volume. I don't like that because I got surround sound. I was like, ugh.
So but that sets up Dan, right? And then you've got Ben Wade, the notorious outlaw / he runs a crew. He's smart, he's charming, but he doesn't play at all.
Oh yeah, he'll even kill one of his own guys if they fuck up.
They break a rule, they're gone.
Yeah.
Just that simple. He ultimately, is caught. And all the while he realizes that the posse has a weak link, in the sense that there is a member of this posse that he could probably work his charm and make a deal with and get out of this situation. And that's Dan.
Yeah.
And although I do believe in his own way, Ben Wade liked Dan.
I think he respected him.
Even before the third act.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. At what point did he learn Dan had a missing foot?
I think from the get-go.
Was it? Okay, I can't remember.
I mean, they don't talk about it, but I think it just kind of...
Oh, yeah, because you're right, because he asks him at one point, why are you walking...
How'd you get that hitch in your giddy up or whatever?
That's exactly what he says. Yeah. So that was pretty early on. So, but yeah, I think he respects the fact that this guy is willing to do what he needs to do for his family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's not jealous of that, but he looks up to that.
He respects it.
Yeah, he respects that a lot.
He respects it in its own way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say looks up to, but he identifies, he understands.
Yeah.
So what we have here, because there's a number of times where Dan is always, especially when talking to Ben, is always, his words are always on the up and up. His words are always, I'm not a bad guy. Up yours, Ben. I'm never going to be an outlaw like you. You're trash, blah, blah, blah. I'm a good man. I'm a good person. But we also see a few times throughout the movie where Dan's godliness falters. Like when he gets fed up and takes a shotgun, is just going to murder the guy he's in debt to.
Yeah, he gets a little rambunctious.
He reaches a point.
Yeah.
So we have a good guy who's not entirely good. But now we've got Ben Wade, who's the bad guy, but he's polite. He's charming. He's not mustache twirling evil, like you said. He's not going to hurt or kill or rob indiscriminately. He's not out to watch the world burn like a Michael Behan.
Yeah.
In Tombstone.
Yeah.
He always has purpose.
Yeah, because when he killed Kevin Durant's character with the fork, I think it might have been Dan that asked him, well, why didn't you go after me, or why didn't you go after Byron?
Yeah.
He says, he stole my horse.
He took my horse.
Yeah. So yeah, he always has a purpose.
Yeah.
So, and I like that.
It's never random.
Exactly.
So we have a bad guy who's not entirely bad. And this movie is just an exploration of how good is Ben Wade and how dark can Dan get. And in that gray area is where these two find their common ground throughout the film.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And again, that is the point of this movie.
We got to talk about Charlie Prince.
Charlie Prince and his dueling Schofields, played by Ben Mother Effin Foster.
This guy's fantastic.
Charlie Prince or Ben Foster?
Both.
Okay.
I love him.
I do like that jacket.
Oh, yeah. He looks so damn cool. And when he's on the screen, he oozes kind of almost evil and cool and confidence.
He struck me as more evil than Ben Wade.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a point where he even takes out people that are trying to take out the rancher.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you guys are not doing what I asked you to do or I told you to do. You're getting too close to Ben, shooting at him. So he takes out like 7 or 8 guys.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool. So cool.
So Charlie Prince is Ben Wade's right hand.
Yes.
So when Ben is captured, Charlie is the one who keeps the gang together. And after killing no, he doesn't kill one, but very, very seriously threatens to kill one of the gang members to convince them that, no, we're going to go get our boss.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But you were talking about he was more evil than Ben because there's that one point where they use a guy dressed like Ben in the carriage, in the wagon, to distract them, to lure them away so they can go the opposite way. They catch the gang catches up to that wagon, and to get the information that he needs, Charlie lights the wagon on fire.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You're gonna burn if you don't tell me what I want to know." And then the guy tells him what he wants to know, and he just fucks off. He's like, "Yeah, I'm out. You can burn to death." So cool. Such a good character.
So, okay. So on Ben Wade's side, we've got the very evil, or at least more evil, Charlie Prince. On the Dan side, we have William, his son, who realizes his father's gonna need help to get Ben Wade in, and doesn't trust that his father is man enough to get the job done. So strikes out in the middle of the night on his own to catch up to the posse. And what we have here is a 15-year-old boy, give or take, who doesn't listen to the lessons that his father is trying to impart, all the while is totally enraptured with the charisma and the charm and the Wild West romance of the Ben Wade outlaw.
Yes, because isn't it at the beginning of the movie when William wakes up
and the barn's on fire?
Doesn't he have, like, next to his bed?
He's reading a dime novel called The Outlaw.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's already admiring these people.
Yeah.
And now he gets to meet one and ride with one.
Mm-hmm.
And his admiration just keeps going through the roof.
Right. So we see he's a young hothead, doesn't respect his dad, gonna do it his way. He knows best. He's a man.
Yep.
When he actually catches up to the posse, he saves his dad from Ben Wade's escape attempt.
Is this when...
And has a gun pulled on Ben Wade, and Ben Wade's like, "You're not gonna do it." And William hauls off and fires the gun next to Ben Wade's head. And he's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Yeah, Ben even tells Dan a little bit later, he goes, "Man, I thought he was going to actually shoot me back there."
Yep.
Yeah.
He had that wildness in his eyes, and that's when Dan's like, "He'll never be like you."
Yeah.
Because Dan and Ben also realize that in their own ways, they are the angel and the devil on William's shoulders.
That's a great way to put it.
And the whole time, throughout the whole movie, I think it could be argued that William leans on the side of the devil.
Oh, absolutely.
But then at the end, spoilers, when Dan succeeds in his mission but doesn't make it, that is, and especially because at that point, and we'll talk more about it when we talk more about Act 3, but when everyone has quit this job, everyone in the posse has either died or disbanded, even the guy who hired them chickens out. One guy has the balls to see this through, and it's William's dad. One man is willing to fight a town single-handedly to get the job done, and it's Dan. And it's in this moment that William realizes, like, holy shit, that's my dad.
Yeah.
And then when Dan doesn't make it, I think that, not sacrifice, because if Dan had a choice in living, I think he would have chosen to live.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But in that moment, I kind of in its own way ensures, or at least in my opinion, ensures Dan's choice, or ensures William's choice at following his dad's footsteps and not these overly romanticized outlaws that he had been almost worshiping throughout the movie up to this point.
I agree. Yeah, he sees that what his dad did is way better than what these outlaws are doing.
Yeah. So there we have kind of our four principal characters. And how they all culminate finally into Act 3. And we'll get into it when we touch on like reviews, but Act 3 has a bit of some like it, some don't to it.
Some like it, some don't?
Uh-huh.
Really? Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay. I'm anxious to hear this.
So they've made it to, what's the town? It's got some dumb name. It's like Continuance or something.
Yeah,
something
I can see the sign. I just can't read it. I'm dyslexic.
I just thought you were stupid.
Well, that too. So it's a terrible combination.
It's a hell of a combination. So the whole, like we talked about, the rest of the posse has disbanded. The heat is too much for them, and they all bail.
Yeah. Well, it's just for the guy who organized it, who's paying for it.
Yeah.
Because the doc gets shot, Byron gets thrown off a cliff, and the big guy gets stabbed with forks.
He gets forked
to death.
And then the local marshals, they get killed.
Yeah.
After surrendering.
Yeah.
Pussies.
But yeah, because Charlie Prince goes out into the street and gathers everybody that he can.
He just starts shouting in the middle of the street to anyone that'll listen.
Anybody takes out who's got Ben Wade, $200.
$200.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that whole town comes together.
At least for a little bit, they do. How do I put this? This movie, especially Charlie Prince, this movie spends a lot of time going, Ben Wade, we got Ben Wade over here. Yeah. But I personally felt like Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park, and I'm just like, Ben Wade. See, nobody cares.
Yeah.
They're just like, do you know who that is? That's Ben Wade. I'm like, are we supposed to give a shit? And then everyone in this, we've talked about it with other goddamn movies. What was it? Escape from New York. We talked about it with Escape from New York. How in the hell does every man, woman, and child recognize Ben Wade on sight?
That's the way with every Western, though.
How? Why?
Just his reputation of being.
But a reputation doesn't tell you what a motherfucker looks like.
No, I'm sure there's newspapers.
Because people are just like, holy shit, wait a minute. That's Ben Wade. He just used that outhouse. Who's that? Oh shit, there goes Ben Wade. Like everyone is just like, that guy's Ben Wade. How do you know that? Yeah, why are we supposed to care?
I think that's a Western trope.
Yeah, but like the good Westerns are like, what was it? Like a man with no name. And it's like, nobody knows who the fuck that is. He's literally just, or like Shane. The original Great Western, nobody knew who Shane was.
Have you watched Shane lately?
No.
That movie sucks.
It's fair because it's like a million years old.
It's
But
so terrible.
actually, isn't that... How old is Shane? That movie's hella old.
Well, Jack Palance was in it, and he was young as fuck. So
He was just a fresh-faced babe.
yeah, it was probably just a documentary. Just
Come back, Shane.
oh, that little
Shane,
fucking kid.
come back.
I hated that kid.
But you get my point. Like, okay, you know what? True Grit. Certain people knew Rooster Cogburn. Other marshals, not all of them, but other marshals knew Rooster because they knew Rooster. Or like particular groups of outlaws that have exchanged bullets with Rooster knew who Rooster was.
Yeah.
He didn't just walk down the street every single... That's Rooster Cogburn. Oh my God, that person... Like it made sense for the people who knew him to know him.
No, he wasn't very good at his job. Everybody
He's
didn't
the
know
most
him.
identifiable motherfucker in that town.
No, it's Ben Wade.
Oh my God, has that been... I'll tell you right now, Rooster Cogburn would have eaten Ben Wade.
Oh, I don't know. Mm-mm.
Wait. Sober Rooster Cogburn.
There you go. Well, Ben Wade would have just went to the right just a little bit so that Rooster couldn't see him.
Missed my shot. Mr. LaBeef can go his own way. He has contributed nothing aside from shooting foodstuffs. That was your initiative.
Man, we haven't given out the Charlie Sheen Award in a long time.
Oh, I plan on giving it out this episode.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll have 2 winners. What were we talking about? So,
Ben Wade.
oh my God, it's Ben Wade. So they're just, Charlie Prince is like, this man has been Wade. And it's like, who gives a, no one cares. Just give me the money.
Yeah, they want the money.
I would forgive everything if just one of the random people in town went, no one knows who that is. Just give me the money, boy.
Who the fuck is Ben Wade?
Who? I would forgive everything. So everyone in the posse dips or dies. However, Dan negotiates, instead of a $200 reward for getting Ben Wade on the train.
Yeah, because he was going to get that even if he walked away.
Right, but he negotiates it to a $1,000 reward.
Yeah.
And he even, at one point he even says, "Did you hear that, Ben?" "Yep, I heard it, Dan." Then the big shootout ensues and whatever. Ben almost kills Dan himself when Dan just kind of reveals, he's like, "You want to know why I'm doing that?" While being choked out by the handcuff chains, and explains he's doing this because his boy has never respected him and has never had reason to respect him.
Yeah, because he even tells him, how do you explain to your kid that you lost your foot from one of your own men?
Right.
It was like an accident or something.
So everyone thinks that Dan is like a hero and lost his leg in battle. Come to find out, he was with like a state militia. They got called down. By the time they got to wherever they were going, the battle was over. Everyone was in retreat, so they marched down there, never see combat, joined the retreat, and one of the running soldiers like dropped his gun and it went off and caught Dan in the leg and lost his leg.
Yeah.
So at that point, Ben realizes, we're going to get Dan that money. And they end up working together to get Ben Wade on the prison train. If only Ben had just shouted out to Charlie Prince to just stop.
I don't know if he would have.
I think if Ben Wade had told him to drop to his knees, unbuckle Ben Wade's pants.
At the same saying that, I don't know, he may have. But it wasn't just about getting Ben to the train. If Ben would have stood up and said, "Hey, Charlie, stop. I'm getting on this train," his son would have looked at Dan and like, "Oh, well, the only way you got him there was Ben is the one that voluntarily got on."
Yeah, but so if this is now the conundrum we're in, this is a writing issue.
How's that a writing issue?
Because now we're backed into a corner of, well, this ending doesn't make a lot of sense when you just figure, okay, the $1,000 agreement is Ben Wade gets on train.
Yeah.
He never has to make it to Yuma. He just has to get on train.
Yeah, correct.
Cool, just get his dumb ass on the train and no one has to die. But no, we need the pointless violence in the shootout so Dan's son will respect him. Why have we painted ourselves in this corner?
I see what you're talking about there, but I didn't really look at it that way.
I don't know.
Ben is doing this for two reasons. He's doing this so Dan can get the money, and so Dan's son respects him.
Right.
He's not going to respect him if he just puts up the white flag and says, "Hey, I'm getting on, guys. Just stop. Go away. Pick me up down the road, or whatever." Ben respects Dan too much, I think.
Yeah, but there are times where Ben and Charlie yell back and forth and can hear each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's the case. It's like, "Hey, Charlie, we're in this shed. Just come in real quick. Don't shoot anybody. All right, this is what we're going to do. Whisper, whisper. All right, break." And then, poorly aimed shots ring out and they get him to the train.
I see what you mean there, but yeah, no.
I don't know. I felt it was just kind of like,
No, I understand why they did it.
I understand why they did it. I just think we could have gotten there in a better fashion.
Okay. I don't have an issue with it.
So Dan gets killed by Charlie Prince. Now, Charlie Prince has been nothing but the utmost of loyal. The number one right-hand man of all time. But when he guns down Dan, Ben Wade turns around and just shoots Charlie.
Yeah.
And the look of just... Ben Foster's face is a cornucopia of emotion. He's hurt, literally and metaphorically. He's confused. He's heartbroken.
Yeah. There's probably a little bit of anger in there too.
Oh, yeah. There's betrayal. And then he dies.
Well, he sees it because Ben looks at Charlie and it's just the way he's looking at him.
And they draw.
Charlie draws because he's like, something's not right here.
Yeah.
And that's when Ben, he's quick. He's fast.
His gun, the hand of God. For our listening audience, I'm making a jerking off motion.
You didn't like that?
Oh,
why?
The hand of God. Shut up.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with it. It doesn't really play a whole lot into the movie. It's just...
No, but it's still...
No, I didn't have an issue with it.
Next one of the gang members is going to be like Dick Hammer. It's like,
that was the one that was the sniper.
Dick Hammer Chavez.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just... there are different things throughout this movie that I just went, really? I've gone back and forth on this movie in my mind several times. I'm still going back and forth a little bit. But as we're talking about it now, I'm like,
That's fair.
So, Ben Wade kills... It's Ben Wade kills Charlie. Dan is dying. And William runs over, grabs his dad's gun, and holds it on Ben. And at first, it almost looks like he might just kill him.
I thought he was going to at first.
But Ben surrenders and gets on the train. And the Pinkerton guy who was leading the posse watched Dan get killed, watch Ben get on the train at gunpoint from William. So for the audience's mind, solidifying the $1,000.
Yes.
And there we go. I mean, that's...
Well, there's a point where they're talking at one point, Ben and Dan, and Ben tells him, you know, hey, I've been to Yuma twice, and I escaped twice. And then you get that shot of him sitting on the train, and the train's moving out, and he whistles, and his horse goes running off. It's like, yeah, he's gonna be. That's one of the reasons why he was so not so worried about being on that train.
But if he's already got this planned out, or at least this confidence that it's going to be okay, what the hell are we doing here? Why did Dan die?
Well, he wasn't anticipating Dan dying. I mean,
what dumbass doesn't anticipate Dan dying?
I didn't have.
There's an entire gang of murderous outlaws, and one of them's a sharpshooter with a scoped rifle, like goddamn Doc Brown in Back to the Future 3. The only thing we were missing was the ice cube machine. He's like, no, it'll be fine. What?
Maybe he was anticipating his posse knowing that he was going to escape anyway.
What a horrible thing to anticipate.
I don't know. I'm not in Ben Wade's mind, so I can't tell you.
I don't think the writers were either.
Yeah, because I think in the original, I don't think Dan dies in the original, from what I understood.
I'd have to watch it. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, there we are.
I mean, is there anything of particular importance that we need to hit on?
No, not really. I don't think so.
This movie is
Alan Tudyk.
That's right. No, we touched on that
A little bit. Yeah.
This movie is two characters. One representing good, the other representing, again, I'm going to say bad, not evil, but it's very much like personalities of the immovable force meets the unstoppable object. Dan will not falter or waver, but Ben's not going to stop. And here we are. And ultimately they find that common ground. But I don't know. I don't know. This movie hits a lot of things well. It does a lot of things right, but I think it's got a lot of misses too.
There's some issues with it. Yeah, I agree.
The fork sounds.
The fork sounds is one of them. Yeah, that nominated for Academy Award for sound mixing. That was the scene that they played at the Academy Awards. Apparently. Also,
was Dan's wife going to have sex with Ben Wade?
She probably would have if they left them in the room too long together.
I just went, bitch, what is happening right now?
Yeah. It's Ben Wade.
It's Ben Wade, everybody. Oh, shit, it's Ben Wade.
I mean...
Oh, and all this time I thought it was an act. Hey, guys, look, it's the real Ben Wade. You're mocking me, aren't you?
I mean, Ben Wade, Russell Crowe. I mean, come on.
I like Russell Crowe. I liked Ben Wade. I don't like how every single man, woman, and child knew who Ben Wade was. At one point, a child looks up to his parents and says his first words, and they're Ben Wade. And I'm just going, this is bullshit.
That was in the deleted scenes. Thank you very much.
So I can't hold it against
James Mangold realized that maybe that's a little too much.
All right, Tevis.
The pregnant mother with the infant in the womb. It's like, is that Ben Wade? I don't know.
Is that Ben Wade?
You didn't have to do the slurp sound. Jesus. I'd rather listen to the knife sound or the fork sounds.
It was intense forking. So what do you want to talk about? What do you want to touch on?
I want to talk about
Ben Wade.
the look of this movie. I love just the sprawling landscapes. There's a point where Charlie Prince and his gang they're riding towards the camera, and in the background you can see just for miles.
Mm-hmm.
And God, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
All of it's so beautiful. There's so many shots in this movie that are like, that is fucking great.
But that's all part of the romance of the Old West.
Yeah, and they nail it. They nail it perfectly.
Yeah.
I just wish there was more of it, honestly.
Well, yeah, but too much more, and we border on Lord of the Rings territory. We're like, oh, cool, they're walking again.
There'd be
and then Gandalf goes, holy shit, is that Ben Wade? Speak Ben Wade and enter.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
Oh yeah, up until this point I had not reached ridiculous, but now I have.
No, and other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Ratings. Are you ready?
Yeah.
IMDb.
Oh, fuck. I can guess.
I'm not gonna lie. I think you can guess. As IMDb gave this movie what I think to be, on average, the most often given score.
Is it a 7.4? 6.
7.6.
I looked up. I was looking to see who exactly was in the original 310 to Yuma, because I thought it was Glenn Ford, but I wasn't 100% sure.
See, I wanted to say Glenn Ford as well.
Yeah. So when I pulled it up, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it is Glenn Ford. But I happened to look at the IMDb and the Rotten Tomatoes score for the original 310 to Yuma.
Yeah.
The original Rotten Tomatoes, 94%.
God damn.
Yeah. IMDb,
7.6. So IMDb gives 7.6 to the original and this one.
Yeah.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes gave the original, you said 94?
Yeah, 94%.
The remake getting an 89.
Okay.
For a grand total of 165.
I think 89 is a little high.
Yes, I do. But 7.6 is too low.
I think that too.
This is like an 84.
Yeah, 82, 84. Somewhere around there.
I could see 82.
Yeah.
Yeah. That feels okay. There's a creamy center there. Full of Ben Wade. Reviews.
Best kind of creamy center.
I've got Ebert and The Guardian.
Oh, we got actual Ebert.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I guess this did come out in 2007.
07.
Yeah.
I got Ebbs and The Guard.
Let's do The Guardian first.
All right, The Guardian. It's strongly directed and never anything other than watchable. 3 out of 5 stars.
Okay. That's...
The Guardian, I read several reviews. A lot of the reviews were a mixed bag. But some that were a little more critical, we'll say. Or some that just didn't think as highly of it. Maybe word it like that. But like The Guardian, took issue with the fact that this wasn't a typical Western, and the fact that you had good guy versus bad guy.
Okay. So they want the cookie cutter.
Yeah,
Westerns.
they want white hat versus black hat. You know, the sheriff versus the bandits. They also had an issue with Act 3.
Really?
In that they didn't like how ambiguous the ending is in regards to, well, did the good guy win? Was Dan even a good guy doing the good thing at the end? Did he have a deal?
Did they not pay attention?
I'm not gonna lie. I read this. I went, okay. And then I watched it and I went, oh, they got up and used the bathroom at some point.
Yeah, because there was clearly a deal. This is what you get if you do this.
Yeah.
He did this. So yeah, and even I can't even think what the guy's name off the top of my head. The one who
Ben Wade,
brokered the deal. The one who
Pinkerton.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He even says, at one point something like, "No matter what happens, I will make sure your family gets it."
Yeah.
So, I mean, did they need like a Star Wars style screens, scroll?
A screen crawl.
Yeah.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they needed like Shawshank Redemption, the next day.
So almost 9 months later.
Yes. Dan's wife's carrying Ben's baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if anything, because they were like, well, this movie kind of ends like, was the moral of the story to be bad? Like, they just felt kind of like weirded out by this. But if anything, I'm like, well, no, the good side of the coin won. Ben, the bad guy, acted on the side of good.
Yeah, because there's even one point where Ben tries to bribe Dan.
And then when that fails, tries to murder Dan.
Yeah. So, I don't know. A Guardian.
Yeah. But 3 out of 5.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, that's
The star rating.
That's fair.
Ebert. 310 to Yuma restores the wounded heart of the Western and rescues it from the morass of pointless violence. 4 stars.
Wow.
He gave this 4 stars.
That's too much.
I don't know why that popped me.
But I mean,
That's a number.
that's
a really high number.
That's better than some of his reviews where he's like, "Worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I can't believe I spent money on this. 3.5 stars." What?
I loved every second of this movie, and you will too. 2 stars. What?
Yeah. Did you have a concussion or something?
No, he gave this a perfect 4 stars.
Okay. I can't. I don't. No, I don't agree with that.
That seems high.
Yeah.
Seems. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably a 2.5 for me.
Okay.
So, with that being said, Tevis, what are your final thoughts on?
Oh, we're not doing awards.
Oh
anything,
yeah. Sure. What are your awards for 310 to Yuma?
I don't really have a lot.
I don't either, but I do want to give the Charlie Sheen
I
to
knew you
Christian
did.
Bale and to Russell Crowe.
Really?
There are times they both falter, and it's not as bad as John Goodman's New York accent in the Flintstones. But there are times when you're just going, there's disconnect with it. It's not.
I never caught that.
It's not even keeled, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's not Kevin Costner in Robin Hood.
It would have been better because at least he wasn't trying anything.
There's a couple of times where he's trying. There was one moment he was giving a speech in 3 different accents at some point. Like, no.
Well, to be fair, I wouldn't know that as I don't watch Kevin Costner movies. If you film it, Jake won't watch.
There's one point where he tries the English accent during his speech, says fuck it, goes back to his normal voice, and then I think he throws in a little Boston in there. Like,
just a little Boston.
Yeah, we got to get this sheriff off our ass. I'm like, what?
Are you a cop? Are you a cop?
You think you're better than me?
Smart guy. Yeah. You think you're wicked smart?
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I don't. I almost want to give the Golden Gruber, or not Golden Gruber, the Mr. Joshua Award to Charlie Prince.
Let's do it. I like that. You say almost, though. What's your hesitation?
I really like Ben Wade as a bad guy. He's not, like we talked about, he's not that typical, just loud, bombastic, extremely evil for evil's sake bad guy.
Yeah.
But I feel like Charlie Prince is at some points. He's not loud. He's very precise about the way he says certain things, and I love that about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I want to do it.
I think the Mr. Joshua Award, the Silver Henchman,
Yeah,
can definitely go to Charlie Prince. The Roger Murtaugh Award can go to who was it? Peter Fonda.
Peter Fonda.
He was way too old for that shit.
Yeah, there was he got shot in the stomach, and
okay, this was another thing. This is such horse shit.
See, and I thought of that. I thought that too.
He gets a gut shot, survives like 6 hours,
Yeah,
has the bullet taken out by a vet. He doesn't need whiskey. He doesn't need anything to bite down on. Just pull that shit out, Doc. My gut is fine. We don't need to worry about all my stomach acid burning away my organs. Fuck it. And then he doesn't even have a bandage. He just pops up off the table under his own power and is like, let's form a posse, boys. Shut the fuck up. This is such garbage.
yeah. That part bothered me a lot.
You know what I liked? When Morgan is just biting a tablecloth covered in blood, screaming in pain as a doctor is digging in his spine with almost assuredly rusty tools.
Elbow deep
in his back.
Yeah, he's playing Morgan like Kermit the Frog.
And you're just like, yes, that's how it would be. But this guy was just like, oh, this is mildly inconvenient.
You know how many times I've been shot? Just pull the bullet out. Hang on, I'll just spit it out.
Yeah,
Like, no.
let me work it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was a different bullet.
That's one of my main issues.
Actually,
with
he
it.
might be one of my main issues.
You don't like Peter Fonda?
I just didn't like that character.
Yeah.
I was just
I
like
like how he went out.
getting dumped off a ravine.
I loved it. It was just so sudden. And
Even bad guys love their mamas.
Yeah.
But no, I do think that's all I've got.
best part.
It's one of the quieter moments where it's just Dan and Ben talking. Not Act 3, not the shootouts, or honestly, not the action. I think it's some of the character building moments. I just can't I can't decide on like one being better than.
That's fair.
I guess maybe when they're in the hotel room at the start of Act 3 and it's like they're both just talking and getting shit off their chest and whatever. Maybe then, but even then I'm not sure that's the best one either. But it's one of those moments for sure.
Okay. Mine is the third act.
Just all of it.
All of it. I love the sound effects. I love the action. I love the music. Really kicks in really good for me. I just think it's really exciting, and you have also character building moments during the action as well, and I enjoy that as well. Worst part?
See, and now this one is tough because this movie doesn't really have a worst. Probably that big dumbass who gets it with the fork. That guy sucks.
Mine is the Byron character, how the whole bullet thing.
That guy also kind of sucks.
Yeah. The first time I watched it, I was like, really? No issue whatsoever. And then this time I was like, yeah, this is kind of stupid.
No, the only like not main posse member I liked was Doc.
Oh yeah,
well, that was Alan Tudyk, so
I agree.
that's not fair. Is this our second Alan Tudyk movie?
I know we've done at least two. iRobot.
This and iRobot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a line that he gives during the campfire scene where Ben's talking about women and how some women will change your life or something like that. He goes, I've been around. I've dealt with all kinds of crime and women, and they'll change your life. And he says, yeah, some of them will give you a disease that'll change your life, or something to that effect. I was like, that's pretty good.
Or when when Ben Wade's telling William about Dodge City.
I don't remember that.
You ever been to Dodge City? The way you shuffle them cards, I took you for a pro. Yep, in Dodge City, a man with money in his pocket can't have anything he desires. There's women in Dodge City, women that'll do things to you that you never forget.
Oh, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then that's when he says, yeah, they'll give you a disease you'll never forget.
That's when Byron is like, yeah, they'll give you a disease you never forget.
We forgot a surprise moment.
We did?
Surprise Owen Wilson.
It wasn't Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson was in this movie.
He was? Which one was Owen Wilson?
He was the one that was torturing Ben with that the electrical probes.
No, I believe that was the other Wilson.
No, it's Owen Wilson.
Is it?
Yeah.
Look it up.
I'm pretty sure.
Tevis still has the 57 version pulled up, which will not yield us the answers that we're looking for.
Oh, no, you're right.
Wait, say it again,
it's
bitch!
Luke Wilson.
Yes!
Yep. Nope, you're right.
I am redeemed! I knew that was... I was like, that's the other Wilson.
Yeah.
And you know why? We didn't miss it. That's not a... That's Luke Wilson's not worthy of a surprise.
If Owen Wilson was in this, it would have been totally terrible. Wow, is that Ben Wade?
That's Ben Wade over there. Wow. No, it was Luke Wilson, who no one likes.
I like Luke Wilson.
No, you don't.
Yes, I
You're
do.
just saying that to get a rise out of me.
He's my favorite Wilson.
No.
Except Wilson Phillips. I really like Wilson Phillips. The band, Wilson. They're not a band. But, yeah. You know who Wilson Phillips is? Don't give me that shit.
Who is Wilson Phillips?
It's the group. It's the female group of singers. Pop group.
What?
Yeah. They had a song.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You fucking know. They had a super hit song that played in Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
Which one is Pretty Woman?
Julia Roberts.
And Richard Gere. I've never seen it.
You've never seen Pretty Woman?
No.
Give me a pen and a paper.
I was too busy watching What Women Want.
Oh, okay. Anyway, where are we at?
What is this big hit song?
Oh,
I filled it up now.
I'm not going to tell you. You got to look it up.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to do it.
You got my Jack Nicholson eyebrows flaring now.
Do you have a prop you'd want?
That's what I was trying to think of. Honestly, I think it would be one of Ben Wade's drawings.
That's a good one, yeah.
And they wouldn't have any folds in them like the
fucking Danny. Oh, can I have one? Ben Wade's like, yeah, sure. And then he folds it and Ben shoots him in the fucking face. Stabs him in the neck with a fork. You dick.
With his pencil. Did you just fold that like an animal? Chokes him to death. But no, whether it be the bird or the bartender he nailed or the one of Dan sitting guard at the window he drew in the Bible, maybe that's it.
That's a good one.
The Bible cover drawing of Dan. I think that's the drawing.
Okay.
I think that's what I'd want. Bible, open it up, there's the drawing of Dan.
Okay. I was thinking the hat, Ben's hat. I like his hat a lot.
No.
But I honestly, I want to go with the fork.
The fork.
The fork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be, that's better than the hat.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, it's no McCready Hat Award winner, but it's like, yep, that's a hat. I don't know. It's fine.
Russell Crowe makes it work.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, there's no way I could rock that hat.
No, I'm picturing you in the hat. I don't know. Going back to Boston, you would look like a really low-level street thug.
Okay. Like the...
You'd look like Paulie from Rocky.
Like the Boston Celtics logo.
Well, for those listening and or watching in Alabama, Hawaii, Maine, Vermont, Virginia, Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, South Carolina, Wyoming, Connecticut, Iowa, Montana, Rhode Island, Delaware, West Virginia, Kentucky, Kansas, and or Mississippi. That was a pro sports team reference.
Basketball.
No, you would look like Paulie.
Ugh. Okay, I'm never. No, not the hat. Fuck the hat. That hat's ugly.
All right, no, I like those props though. I like those props. All right, sir. What are your final thoughts on 07's 310 to Yuma?
310 to Yuma has some issues.
Yeah.
It does have some issues. But the characters are really well done. The acting is pretty much superb all around. The music is great. The scenery is great. The story, sometimes at the beginning, I was kind of catching myself losing interest in it a little bit.
I believe they call that losing wood.
Possibly. But once Christian Bale and Russell Crowe get together, from then on, it's solid. You don't lose wood that way.
After watching Man of Steel in the theater, I was telling my buddy who blames 9/11 for bad country music. I was like, yeah, Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner play Superman's dads. And that's how I worded it for some reason. And he goes, wow, this is really progressive. And I went, no, not like that, although the movie might have been better had it been like that.
That woke shit.
Anyway, they played Superman's dads.
You weren't wrong. You were not wrong.
No, grammatically that is correct.
Yeah. They just didn't, sword fight.
Sword fight. Would have been better if they did, maybe.
Apparently Kevin Costner's done Full Frontal before, so
nobody wants to see that.
Yeah. I think it was in For Love of the Game where they had a full frontal shot of him coming out of the shower, but they had to cut it because some of the test audiences giggled. So they're like, well, we probably about to cut that. It's not.
Oh, like they saw him and giggled.
Yeah.
Not like if William Dafoe had come out and they would have been shocked, shocked and horrified.
Like, is this Anaconda 3? And then John Hamm comes out. What are we talking about?
Your final thoughts on 310 to Yuma before we started talking about Superman's gay fathers.
No, really well acted. Russell Crowe, Ben Foster.
No one has ever said the words Ben Affleck and well acted in the same sentence.
Christian Bale, and they do a great job. Like I said, this movie does have some flaws, but I think it's worth the ticket price. There's a few things you just kind of have to lose yourself in a little bit and suspend some disbelief.
Like lose yourself in the moment.
Yeah, in the music. Mom spaghetti.
Knees weak. What are you doing? Please stop.
I'm about to bust into some rhymes.
Yes, please bust into some rhymes, you white ass.
Make me drop the beats. Your turn, homie.
I would like to apologize for whatever just happened. I'm still back and forth on this. So I have to convince myself one way or the other. In the grand scheme of things, I like what 310 to Yuma is trying to do here. It is an atypical Western, and it goes in a direction I like. Not as much as Ebert liked it, but, you know, I'm some sort of dirty peasant.
Yeah.
There's some things that again get on my nerve. Everyone knows who Ben Wade is. I'm still not totally sure why Dan died or why he had to die. It's not a perfect movie. And like you said, this movie runs the risk of losing its audience in the beginning. You're just going, okay, let's do, and that's something in itself, because the movie starts with like a barn fire, then there's a stagecoach robbery. You know the movie is questionable when I'm half bored in a stagecoach robbery.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on that too much, but
it also has the worst portrayal of a Gatling gun I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a fine robbery.
It's fine.
Nothing too great.
But it in the end, if I have to give it a rating, I think 310 to Yuma ultimately is worth the ticket price, with the caveat that this is probably one of those movies that you'll watch once, enjoy it, and probably never really go back to it. And you won't really miss anything if you don't go back to it.
That's fair.
Like, if you've never seen 310, check it out. You'll have a good enough time. You'll have plenty to talk about. You'll get some cool character building moments. And then you'll be like, yeah, that was cool. That was fine. And then you're going to put Tombstone in. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, you will.
I'll watch Tombstone right goddamn now. Is that the best Western?
Yes, we've just...
Does Tombstone leave the light on for you?
That's Motel 8.
6.
Motel 6?
Is there a Motel 8?
Yeah, there's Motel 8. I'm going to find out now.
He's looking it up. But regardless, I do think if you've not watched it, give it a watch. You'll have a good time. If it's been a hot minute and you're interested if it's as good or as bad as you remember it being, you'll still have a pretty good time.
No, you're right. Motel 6 will leave the light on for you.
Oh my God, I am the smartest man alive. Actually, at work today, we were talking about something, and I made a reference that almost everyone got. But it's an older TV reference. And
is it MASH?
No.
Oh, okay.
I love MASH, by the way.
I know you do. You bring MASH up all the time.
That's not true at all. When was the last time I talked about MASH?
2 episodes ago.
That's false.
I'm sure 2 episodes ago.
I'm sure that's false. No, it's not that old. But just like, if you watch TV, especially like real late at night in the 90s, you've seen these commercials. Remember Miss Cleo?
Oh my God.
She'll just call in and she'll read your fortune or whatever.
Miss Cleo. I fucking forgot about Miss Cleo.
Until right now.
Yeah.
I've unlocked some sort of memory for you as you're just like, I remember
I can even
Miss
hear
Cleo.
the voice in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
was that a real accent? The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't think it was.
I don't think it was.
Was like a pseudo-Caribbean accent.
Yeah.
Not like full Jamaican, but like in the environs of.
Yeah. If she had voodoo dolls, I would not be surprised.
She definitely made a bunch of money scamming people,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the part. This is the part.
This is the part where we pull out the hat.
Sorry, I got to looking at Idaho. And this is where we would normally bring out the hat to choose our next movie, but not today. Just
Jesus Christ.
It's fine. My doodad got flipped upside my thingamadoo.
I hate it when that happens.
I hate it when my doodads flip up on top of my thingamadoo. No, we're doing something extra special for episode 100. Tevis, tell the people. Tell them, Hawk.
We're doing
There's our wrestling reference.
Showdown.
Yes.
And what better movies to do the original versus the remake in a showdown than Mortal Kombat.
This might be the most showdown we've ever done.
Absolutely.
2 movies enter. One will be brutally fatalitied.
Absolutely.
And then there's a winner.
Will it be a flawless victory?
That's the question.
We'll find out.
We will find out. So tune in next week as we do a showdown. Looking at the 95 Mortal Kombat and the 2019?
2021.
2021. I was close.
Yeah, I'll play 2 years, but whatever.
Never mind. I was about to say something and never mind. I'm just moving on.
Okay.
The 2021. I don't have my notes in front of me. I have to flip the page. It's the whole thing. There we go.
Yeah.
Episode 100. Also, we're about to do 100 of these.
I feel it. My ass hurts from sitting in this chair for 100 fucking episodes.
We have been sitting here a long time.
Yes.
And the best part is, you have no idea how long we've been sitting here because we're dressed the exact same to make it easier on the animators.
Absolutely.
And also to make it easier on the lawyers who have to file copyright claims every time. You know, if you draw a character in a different outfit, and then it's like, well, now we have to get that copywritten.
Yeah, and we just have to get Reebok. And TicketPrice.
TicketPrice. I am wearing our merchandise.
I have mine on underneath this shirt, hoodie.
That's a hoodie.
Jacket.
Or if you were my high school history teacher, hooded sweatshirt. Because he felt hoodie was too
ethnic,
weak, too feminine.
Oh, he's one of those.
I don't know if he's one of those. I'm pretty sure he's not. He just doesn't like the term hoodie.
There's nothing wrong with the term hoodie.
We got
to stop doing westerns.
He weared them there hoodies. He just called them hooded sweatshirts.
Okay, I hate that.
Well, you know what you also hate? Alabama, Hawaii, Maine, Vermont, Virginia, Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, South Carolina, Wyoming, Connecticut, Iowa, Montana, Rhode Island, Delaware, West Virginia, Kentucky, Kansas, Mississippi.
Yes, get a sports team, damn it.
Or
get absorbed.
Or get absorbed. Like Tevis's twin brother, Halstead.
If I lift up my shirt, it's like Quado from Total Recall.
Man, that movie sucks.
Quaid.
The best part of that movie was
Open your mind.
The fake Schwarzenegger head with the bulging eyes.
He's making the Artie sound.
No, Total Recall sucks. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and or listening.
Open your mind.
You know what? You need an open mind to sit through these episodes. Woo!
True story. When my brother was born,
Halstead,
we nicknamed him Quado because he looked like Quado when he was born.
Oh, that's so mean.
Yeah.
Well,
we gave him an actual name other than Quado, but yeah, my mom wasn't having Quado.
Was it Halstead?
He's not rocking Halstead.
Did they give... Wait. Would you say his name is better or worse than Tevis?
Oh, much worse.
Worse?
Much worse.
Are you sure it's not Quado?
No, I'll tell you what it is later.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, God. Actually, up until this moment, I forgot you had a brother.
Me too.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit us up next week as we do a showdown at Mortal Kombat. This has been 310 310 to Yuma, episode 99. Thank you all so much. Click the link for the merch store. Hit the follow button or the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on notifications. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think about 310 to Yuma or the states that lack a pro sports team.
Check us out on YouTube.
Well, that's why it was follow or subscribe.
We got YouTube stuff.
We have Patreon stuff.
Just YouTube stuff. Just on YouTube.
We do have YouTube exclusive content, so check us out.
Yep.
And in the meantime, as always, the most important part, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and good night.